Howdy, folks, and welcome to the video for the Tier 9 Premium Battleship, Pan-Asian Battleship, the Sun Yat-Sen. So I am bringing you this video even though it is going to be a complete blowout, a win for our team, and actually a reasonably short one. I'll try and cram in some details about the Sun Yat-Sen. But the reason I am bringing you this video is a reminder that playing well in this game can look very differently from game to game. Now, the algorithm is going to tell you that I am actually not going to play all that well in this game. It's going to give me pretty low XP, pretty low PR, but I think I played great. I don't know that I could have really played any better than I'm about to play, because there are games where you just need to take advantage of the situation, press forward on a flank that your team is winning, obliterate a Forrest Sherman, and then win the game. Take the W, as they say. So I am pushing up, even though the Sun Yat-Sen is not really great at pushing up, because I have some rocks in front of me, and also because I want to help guard my teammate here, the Marceau, who is playing very aggressively, and I want to try to help him out with that. I am basically trying to attack any destroyers that might pop up in his field of view at roughly where my reticle is. Now, why am I doing that? Well, because what little I know about the Sun Yat-Sen, and you see I have the HE picked here, the Sun Yat-Sen doesn't have much going for it. It's a pretty bog standard battleship, but it has guns which are huge, 457s, great accuracy, great reload, killer HE alpha, 6500, great reload, I mentioned that already, and great pen. However, it only has 6 of them, and it doesn't really have a lot else. Now, is that enough? That's up to you, I suppose. I would say most people have come to the conclusion that it's probably not enough. This ship obviously invites comparisons to the Tsurugi. I think it is... Well, it's hard. The Tsurugi has some serious flaws, and the Sun Yat-Sen does compensate somewhat for some of them. It has much better armor, and it has more HP, but it also doesn't have those torpedoes, which can come in handy, those deep water torpedoes the Tsurugi has. And the guns have lower range, I believe, and they also have a little less alpha. So it's basically like the Tsurugi, except less so. Is that a good idea? I don't know. I don't think it's awful. It has some advantages. But mostly what I want to kind of emphasize at this point is when you have a ship that has certain advantages, you should use them. There's a Forrest Sherman up here. He is way too enamored of his smoke. And I know that if I can get a beat on him with these amazing HE guns, I am going to absolutely obliterate him. And guy got a beat on him, and I absolutely obliterated him. That's 4 shells, 4 hits, 4 penetrations, and 8,700 damage. That's almost half of his HP. If I had been able to shoot all 6 guns, I might have been able to dev strike. And I mean, this is all it's going to take. 2 more shells, 11,984 damage, and he's dead. And literally, I'm not going to have to do anything else this game. I mean, I could take my hands and my mouse, take my hands off the keyboard and the mouse and just sail to J1, and we would win this game. And I would feel confident that I did my part. I'm not going to do that, of course, because A, that's lame, and B, that's not fun. I'm going to try to give you a little sample of the AP, which of course you are going to use a lot of in the Sun Yat-Sen because it's very good, and the pen is really high, and the alpha damage is really good. I'm going to get some all right damage in on this Los Andes. But, I mean, with the loss of that Forrest Sherman, this whole flank is going to absolutely collapse. I mean, just collapse. These battleships are going to melt. And then the other flank is going to be kind of a 50-50 affair, a little back and forth. But because this flank just completely melts and that flank doesn't melt in the other direction, I mean, the game's going to be over. We're actually going to point out the enemy team. And I guess I'm showing you this game. So I am making a mistake here, by the way. I'm backing in slowly, which would be a great move if this was at all an even game, but it's not an even game. We're going to just melt these battleships, and at some point I'm just not going to have anybody to shoot at for the rest of the game. So I'm going to be stuck on a very low damage total and a very low number of kills. And that's why my PR and my XP are going to be really low. But I mean, come on, like, you know, at this point, the game is won already, right? I mean, and this is kind of what World of Warships is like sometimes. And I'm not saying the game is won just because I pushed in and obliterated a 4-inch Sherman. It takes probably 3 moments like that for a game to get this out of hand. But, you know, if there was 3 moments and I contributed 1 of them, that means I contributed 1/3 of the moments. You got to remember that World of Warships is a game of percentages, and having a 56, 57% win rate is very, very good. So if you can just enter every game and obliterate a 4 Sherman at the 4th minute, I mean, your win rate is definitely going to be at least 56%. Like, it's probably going to be better than that. I mean, if you could just remove 1 ship from a game, that's probably about a 6% win rate, I would have to guess. I'm not really sure, but especially a destroyer in the beginning of the game, I mean, that's going to win you a lot of games. So is the Sun Yat-Sen good? I think it's all right. I think it's fair, which of course is not really quite what you want. I think it lacks a little bit of flexibility, right? It doesn't have any tools. You know, there's nothing fancy going on here. No smokes, no radars, no hydro even. It's got a DFAA, I guess, but that's nothing. It's got pretty standard heals. The guns are really high caliber, which is great, but you only get 6 of them, which is not great. But they're very accurate, which is great, but they don't really have very long range, which is not great. It's a ship that I think you can make work. And if you like high caliber guns, then you might have fun in this one. I would say there's probably better. I think it's probably been power crept a little bit. I don't think I don't think you have to go out of your way to pick this one up. But I wouldn't say it's a bad ship. You know, it's got some competent secondaries. We didn't really see them in this game, but they go out to 8.5 kilometers and they have pretty good pen. But yeah, I mean, the game is telling me that I didn't play well, but I think it's just wrong. I mean, what else could you do, right? Like, this flank just dissolved. I think the only thing I could have done was play a little more aggressively after I sunk the 4 Sherman. But anyway, that's enough for this one. I'll see you guys in the next video.